Today, I'm going to give you 5 simple ways to increase your bar profits by thousands of dollars, and all you have to do is follow the plan. Okay, these strategies come straight from my book, Bar Profit Maximizers. It's a 102-page blueprint that's going to change the way you run your bar. Okay, and it's yours for free. Okay, all you got to do is click up here, or I'll have the link in the description. Okay, it's going to help you run a better, more profitable bar. Okay, how you doing, by the way? It's Dave Allred, the Real Barman from barpatrol.net. And today, I'm just going to cover 5 of the most powerful strategies in the book for maximizing your profits. There's actually 12, but you'll want to make sure you get that book because I go into a lot more detail on how to execute these strategies. Okay, here we go. The first profit maximizer on the list is a quality inventory system. This one is the umbrella which all other profit maximizers reside under. Okay, it's the most important factor because it ensures that you're able to track your inventory and your profits all in one place. Okay, a good inventory system can count your inventory quickly, it counts it accurately, and it allows you to do your ordering and your invoicing. Okay, and it will track bartender overpours down to the 1/100th of an ounce. Okay, you can check us out, of course, at barpatrol.net. We are the #1 bar inventory app for independent bars and restaurants, only $49 per month, but you don't have to choose us. Okay, choose whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Just make sure you get one that's best for you because setting your pars and tracking your inventory and monitoring your bartenders is the low-hanging fruit when it comes to saving thousands of dollars. Okay, this is not an opinion. It's a proven fact. Okay, number 2 on the list is glassware. And I know that most of you don't put much thought into glassware except for how sexy it looks. But I'm telling you right now, when I work with bars that have these like giant glasses for mixed drinks and martinis, I cringe like a dog being hit with a rolled up newspaper because I can see the dollar bills just burning up in front of my eyes. All right, and here's why. It comes down to perception, and perception is everything. Okay, when you have big glasses, if you pour standard pours into these big glasses, the perception is that your bar is chintzy. Okay, and you can't help it because, for instance, a 6-ounce wine pour in a giant glass looks like it's supposed to be a wine flight portion. And people get pissed because they hold it up and they look at it, all right, and then they look at you and they're disgusted. Okay, like you just skinned their cat. All right, if you pour a 1.5 ounce pour for a Jack and Coke, which is standard, and the bucket glass is big, like 12 or 14 ounces, then what happens? Okay, it tastes weak. Even though it's a standard 1.5 ounce pour, it's a 1.5 ounce shot. Okay, it takes more Coke though to fill up the glass, so they can't taste the liquor. So then what happens? Well, the bartenders feel obligated to fill the glasses up so they don't get bitched at by the guests, and you lose money. Okay, it's an awful profit-draining merry-go-round that you can't get off of. Okay, so the solution is to get tasteful yet smaller glassware. And I have all my recommended sizes for every category of glassware inside Bar Profit Maximizers. Okay, also, if you don't have shot glasses for when people order shots, like you're using rocks glasses instead to pour your shots, stop it. Okay, order shot glasses. You're gonna save so much money doing so. That's task number 2. Okay, check your glassware before you wreck your glassware. All right, profit maximizer number 3, portion sizes. And let me ask you, do you even know what your portion sizes are supposed to be? Okay, do you have a standard set? And more importantly, do you monitor your bartender pours so that you can enforce those standards? Okay, with an inventory app and system like we just talked about earlier. And if you don't, the bartenders are going to pour whatever the hell they want and you're going to lose a crap load of money. And the average shrinkage or losses is another word for it in the bar industry for bartender overpours is 25%. All right, that's a lot of cheddar that you're losing. So you need to, 1, define your portion sizes for mixed cocktails like vodka soda, gin and tonic, etc., as well as your martinis, your rocks pours, and your wine. And I have those recommendations in the book as well. I know it's also cloak and dagger, everything's in the book, but I can't possibly share all that right here because, you know, you're important, you have things to do, and that would take too long. So get your portion sizes in order and then enforce them, okay? Profit maximizer number 4, well-versed premium liquor. This is something that very few owners and managers consider when trying to make more money because they spend so much of their time worried about lowering their cost percentage. That's all you ever hear, instead of increasing their profits. Okay, allow me to explain. Well liquor traditionally pours at a very low cost percentage, like 4 to 10%, which seems very desirable because that means your profit margins are 90 to 96%. Fantastic, right? Okay, on the other end, we have something like Grey Goose, which might have a cost percentage of 18%, give or take. Only 82% profit margin. So common logic would say to sell as much well liquor as possible. But let's take a look at the math. Okay, let's say you sell Burnett's vodka for $6 per shot, and let's say it costs you 26 cents per shot wholesale because the bottle's only like $6. Okay, your profit here is $5.74, which means your cost percentage is 4.3%, which in turn means your profit margin is 95.7%. Incredible, right? Well, let's say that Grey Goose costs you $1.75 per shot and you sell it for $10. That puts your cost percentage at 17.5% and your profit margin at 82.5%. Okay, not nearly as good as Burnett's, but your profit here is $8.25. So if you can get someone to order Grey Goose instead of Burnett's on that round, your bar has increased its profits by $2.51 for just that one drink. Okay, you have to remember, we don't put percentages in the bank. We put dollars in the bank. So your motivation needs to change from lowering pour cost percentage to increasing profits. Like think of something like Don Julio 1942, which is quite expensive. It might have a cost percentage of 30%. And that seems awful, right? But the profit here is like $14 to $18. Okay, this means that you need to drill it into your bartenders and your servers' heads to upsell premium products. And it's so simple. I know you think it's like a hassle, but it's not even a sales pitch. This is all you have to teach them. When a guest says that they want a vodka soda, all your servers and bartenders have to say is, great, what's your favorite vodka? That's it. And 3 out of 4 times, the guest is going to choose a brand name because they don't want to appear cheap. This one simple tactic implemented into your server and bartender training, this one question you get them to ask will increase your profits so much. Trust me on this. Okay, which brings us to profit maximizer number 5, item costing. And this might sound as boring and tedious as plucking hairs off a camel's hump, but this is the nitty gritty that good business people get into, which makes them a lot more money. And to illustrate this, let me give you an example. Let's head into the back end of Bar Patrol to the recipe section. This is our inventory software. We have item costing built right in, so you don't have to get a calculator out and do math, because math is hard. All right, we're going to look at an example recipe here, a Cosmopolitan, a very common drink. Okay, and at this fictional bar here, their Cosmo costs $10, which is a common price on cocktail menus these days. And as you can see here, that this recipe is set up to get 2 ounces of Grey Goose Citron vodka, 1 ounce of Cointreau, juice from half a lime, and a ½ ounce of cranberry juice. This is a very common recipe for a Cosmo. And here you can see the total cost of the drink, okay, what it's costing you. $6.56 is your profit, and your pour cost percentage is a ridiculous 34%. And I know this seems silly that an owner will put a cocktail on the menu with a 34% pour cost, but this is what happens. Okay, we don't item cost. We just create a cocktail menu with fun drinks. So in order to get this cocktail where it's supposed to be, there are 3 things that we can do. Okay, we can change the price, we can change the ingredients, and or change the portion size. Okay, you can do one of the 3, or you can do all 3. Okay, or 2 of the 3. All right, those 3 factors though are going to affect your pour cost percentage and your profits. Okay, let's start by changing the price. Let's say that this bar actually charges $12 for their Cosmo instead of $10. Okay, well, that helps a little bit. It drops the cost percentage by 6 points from 34% to 28%, and increased profits by $2. Okay, well, what happens if we change the ingredients? Because unless you're an upscale place, most people aren't going to care if they have Grey Goose Citron in their Cosmo. Okay, or if you do keep the premium products in your cocktail menu like Grey Goose Citron, then you need to up your prices. It's that simple. Okay, but in this case, let's change Grey Goose Citron to Absolute Citron. Okay, still a nice and well-known brand that people like. And bam, immediately cost percentage drops another 13 percentage points. Profit up another $1.60. Okay, and now let's change Cointreau to Triple Sec because the common person doesn't know the difference between the two, let's be honest. So like I said, unless you're an upscale place, this won't be a problem. So there we go. Cost percentage down another 6 points, profit up another 75 cents or so. All right, now we're getting somewhere, but we're not done yet. Okay, most Cosmos only get a standard shot of vodka, which is 1.5 ounces, not 2. Not all places do that, but it is a standard shot that goes into a Cosmo. So let's change the portion size, and now our total cost for this drink is under $1, and the profits have gone from $6.56 to $11.05, an increase of $4.49 per drink. That is crazy, just from making some changes, just from item costing. Okay, and I just wanted to make a point here by changing 3 things, how dramatically your profits can soar. Okay, this is how important item costing is, and knowing exactly how much each item on your menu costs, as well as the portioning and the brands that go into them. All these factors matter. Okay, and you might want to drop this drink back down to $10 to be more reasonable for your guests, and now you can. Okay, and your cost percentage is still at 9.5% because you changed the brand and the portion size. Okay, now you can afford to drop it to $10 if you want. Hey, do you see the power of small details in your business? All of this matters. Okay, I hope you see this. Okay, make sure to download my free copy of Bar Profit Maximizers. Click the link in the description. You can also check out this video right here for more helpful tips. And I hope this helped you out in your quest to run a mega successful and profitable bar and restaurant. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I am going to see you next time. I'm out.